That's cool how we can see if there's people here or not. That's fun. I didn't realize we'd have like that interface.
We're live, right?
Yep, we are live.
Yay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Here we are, the Blossom team with two
Hello.
special guest speakers today. Welcome, welcome to our happy hour. Hope you have, again, your favorite choice of beverage, tea, coffee, water, I don't know, ready to participate and be here with us today. First, before we start introducing everybody, I want to just take a little bit of time to thank everyone who also came to the picnic, to our family picnic. We had a great time, and the best part, of course, was to see all of you and spend time together. Be ready for another similar type of event for Halloween. We thought it was great success, and that's really what we're all craving for, which is to see each other and spend time together and build that community. All right, so today we have almost everybody from the Blossom team. We have Diana here, our program manager, Helena, our other program manager. We have Cindy, our fundraising volunteer, coordinator and volunteer as well. And we have Gita, our marketing manager. And like I said, we have two special guest speakers. We have Jenny Putt, pelvic floor therapist. We're very, very happy to have you here today. Thank you. And Bill White, the director of Happy Baby Sign. And both of them will be sharing about their amazing classes and everything that they do for our community. So thank you so much to them for being here with us today. Okay, I will let Helena actually introduce Jenny a little more because she worked really close with her on this program. So Helena.
Thank you, Carolina. Hi, everybody. Well, I'm very happy to be here presenting Jenny today. It took us a couple of months to book her. She's a very busy woman, which is good for us. Very happy to have you here, Jenny. I mentioned to you a couple of minutes ago that I had this big speech planned, something very beautiful to say to you, and it's very honest. I feel that the first time that we met, the biggest thing that I noticed in you was your passion for what you do. And that to me fills my heart, and it just brings a whole different level of commitment when it is doing what we do to the serving the community, having that passion. It's very clear, and I know everybody's going to feel it when they talk to you. And I think that the three things that I notice in a teacher when they have passion is that they tend to know a lot about what they do, because I think that you focus and you specialize. So I noticed that right away about you. Lots of very good quality information. Your energy is amazing. So I think that that's gonna, everybody's gonna see that through the video. And the other thing is this desire to share what you know and what you learned with other people, which is wonderful. And I think that that's why one of the biggest reasons why we're here. So we were so happy to welcome you to Blossom. And as I said, I had this whole speech prepared, but then one of my colleagues, Cindy, whom I love dearly, and one of the things that I love about her is that she simplifies everything, and I think that simplifying life is a very important skill. And when I told her about the pelvic floor workshops, she said, but can we go back to basics and can we understand what a pelvic floor is? So I thought, a great speech, but yeah, let's get down to basics. So I want to just have you talk to us about what this is and what you do, and thank you so much for being a part of this with us.
Thank you for having me. I've been equally anticipating this, as well as just teaching through Blossom. So big thing, I'm a pelvic floor physical therapist. That's what makes me know about the pelvic floor. And what makes a pelvic floor physical therapist different than like your traditional physical therapist is that after going to physical therapy school and learning about all of the joints in the body, like the whole body, we also are trained in internal assessment and treatment, which is really the best way to assess the pelvic floor is with your finger on it. There are external techniques that we learn too. So if you're like, run away, turn this off, don't worry. There are external ways too, because it's actually really common when we have pelvic floor dysfunction to maybe not want stuff in there. So that's what makes me a pelvic floor physical therapist. And once you become a pelvic floor physical therapist, you know that there's a ton of people like Cindy that are like, what is the pelvic floor? And it is such an important part of our body that it's kind of mind-boggling that we don't know where it is or what it does. And then we have kids, and it serves a big role in like our everyday, but then especially in having a kid. So the fact that we can go through having a kid and still have no idea what our pelvic floor is crazy. In many countries, pelvic floor physical therapy is part of standard perinatal care. So you go to a pelvic floor physical therapist, maybe even before you conceive, definitely during pregnancy, definitely in postpartum. And the reason for that is that the pelvic floor is muscle. And in having a kid, those muscles are usually pretty obliterated in many ways. So there's lots of cause of all of the symptoms. And I'll talk about like signs of pelvic floor dysfunction, so you know if you're experiencing it, even though you might not have been privy to it. But it's usually it's standard care elsewhere. America, we're a little slow on a lot of things. We also get uncomfortable talking about poop, pee, sex, penises, vagina. It's like all of those words. I hope we don't get like cut off of Facebook because saying them. But it's like we need to make these things comfortable. We need to make them like commonly talked about, because a lot of people are suffering unnecessarily because it's just hushed and we don't bring it up ever. And a lot of doctors don't even know how to answer the questions anyway. So even if you mustered up the bravery to talk about it, your doctor might be like, I don't know, women problems. Like, I have no idea. So pelvic floor physical therapist, you end up being super passionate about educating people about where the heck it is, what it does, and then how to not live with dysfunction. I think kind of past generations, especially my mom's age, it was like, well, you have a kid, so you're going to pee yourself the rest of your life. Like, just get fancy underwear to soak up the pee. Like, that's just part of having a kid. But it's really common to have all these symptoms, but it's not normal to live with them. We just have to consciously rehab, just like we would like after an ACL knee surgery. It's like, we don't just expect this knee to like be all strong again and have regular range of motion after a surgery. It's like having a kid is even more significant than that. So a lot of attention and energy needs to go into it. So that's my like soapbox about pelvic PT, but why I got into it. I have a 3.5-year-old girl. And I actually treat a lot of chronic pain, and I actually got into the pelvic floor because a lot of my patients were plateauing. They had back pain, hip pain, sacroiliac pain. You could even connect shoulder pain to the core weakness. And I just started thinking, like, the bottom of our core is the pelvic floor, and how are we missing this spot? So that's initially what got me into it. And then having a kid, it became even more relevant. So now my goal is to let everyone know. So if you're watching this, next time you talk to your friends, tell them about the pelvic floor. Tell them about everything about it. And if they have any dysfunction, tell them to see a pelvic PT. Okay, so what is the pelvic floor? So everything you see here that's white is a bone. So we've got like our pelvic bones. We have our low back. It kind of obviously continues up. We have a sacrum, a tailbone, and this is our pubic bone where they kind of come together. These sit bones are where our like hamstrings insert and where you can feel if you're sitting in good upright posture. Everything red you see here is muscle, and this is your pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor is a series of muscles that sit like a hammock in the bottom of our pelvis. In isolation, the pelvic floor is really important for poop and pee control. That means emptying when you want to, emptying fully, and then also keeping it in when you don't want to. It is really important for penetration. So penetrative sex, it is the thing that allows for pleasurable sensation and orgasm. It provides a pump there's a whole bunch of lymph fluid. Our bodies are mostly water. So there's a whole bunch of lymph that's in here, and this muscle provides like a muscle pump to move that fluid through. It also provides support of the weight of all of our organs. So kind of important. It stops them from coming out the bottom. And also the weight of growing baby in utero. It also allows for baby to come through it. So, like I said, very important during pregnancy, especially and postpartum. And then the bigger picture, the broader picture is that it is the bottom of our core. So our core, the top is our diaphragm, the middle is our abdominals, and the bottom is the pelvic floor. So similar to like a soda can, if the top, the middle, the bottom is broken, popped, then you're gonna be able to crush that can. If you have a sturdy can with the top, middle, and bottom, then it's not gonna break. You can't crush it. So same thing goes with our core. We need all three components. So pelvic floor physical therapists, we look directly at the pelvic floor. We look at it in isolation. We get rid of scar tissue. But we also incorporate it into the bigger picture. So we do a lot of breathing, a lot of abdominal stuff, and a lot of pelvic floor, and the whole kind of blending it together. So signs and symptoms of like this not working. Direct symptoms are peeing and pooping yourself when you didn't want to. The most common is stress incontinence. It's when you cough, sneeze, laugh, jump, run, and a little bit comes out. There's another form of incontinence after you go to get up from the toilet that you empty, you go to get up, a little bit more comes out. Not being able to hold a fart in is also a form of incontinence, or just not even knowing whether it's a fart or a poop that's like waiting there. That's a decrease in sensation kind of in that area. Let's see, any pain with pooping, peeing, inability to empty all the way, or just like once the urge comes on, you have to be at a toilet like right then. You don't have the time to wait any period of time. Inability to orgasm, painful sex, prolapse, which I talk extensively about in the workshop. I think I have a certain amount of time here. So, but prolapse is basically where the wall of the vagina that supports the organs and stuff is no longer structurally sound, or you have a lot of pressure coming in. And so that wall of the vagina is kind of collapsed in, or the uterus is hanging lower. So things start to come into kind of that vaginal opening. And symptoms of prolapse are like you either see it or feel stuff coming out, or pressure, just pressure, heaviness. It can be heaviness in the lower abdomen, or heaviness kind of in your perineum or pelvic floor. So that is prolapse. Because it's the core, it can be pain like anywhere. So like pain in your pubic bone, pain in your hip, pain in your SI joint, pain in your tailbone, any sort of pelvic pain, any sort of low back pain. And like I said, you could even connect it to the shoulder if you wanted to, because we have to have a stable core for everything else. But pain in this region, including the back and the hip, it usually has a very strong pelvic floor component to it. So it's basically poop, pee, sex, and then pressure of organs are kind of your signs and symptoms of pelvic floor dysfunction. People who have a kid and are like, I got away with that, I feel great. If you're gonna have a second one, you won't be great. Everyone coming out of having a kid has a little bit of dysfunction. If your body is able to cover it up and kind of manage it, cool, that's a win. But I would recommend still seeking pelvic floor physical therapy or coming to a workshop, understanding the things to kind of work on, because you did have a kid, we need to rebuild something so that you can ensure that you're coming from a strong point, maybe even stronger than before the first kid, but a strong point before you put another kid on top of that. So during my workshops, I talk extensively, I do go over this again, this is really quick, and I talk extensively about kind of what happens during pregnancy, how to optimize your pregnancy, how to prepare the pelvic floor for getting a kid out, and we talk through a little bit about cesarean too, if you're planning to have a cesarean, or sometimes they happen, so we talk a little bit about that too. We talk about pushing strategies and labor positions, both for comfort measures and for effectiveness of getting a kid out. I touch a little bit on the early postpartum at the prenatal workshop, but then the postpartum workshop is where I dive into the whole process. So we talk through how to rebuild. You really are starting from like ground zero, so you might as well rebuild the right way, and then you can be stronger than ever before. But it is definitely a process. So we talk about why rest is important. We talk about kind of the foundations of strength, like kind of your check mark of what you got to do before you can really pile on strength and be strong. So that's what we do in postpartum. My next, it's at Las Palmas, so it's in person, yeah. It's at Las Palmas Park. It's on Thursday. It's on a Thursday of the month. It's usually the second. Sometimes that kind of changes. Next week is the postpartum one. And I just want to say that postpartum enrollment is always lower because postpartum moms are not here live on Facebook, and they've got a lot going on. So they don't know to prioritize their pelvic floor. even though it is the time that is the most essential. So if you have any mom that is postpartum, and we're talking like first year postpartum, like it doesn't have to be immediate first year. Or if you are in your third trimester, kind of in that later phase of pregnancy, then come to the postpartum one. You can soak all that in so that you know what to do immediately in postpartum. Otherwise, the next month I'll be doing prenatal. So we alternate between the two. It is at 6:30. It's at 6:30. Yeah. Just had a brain fart there. I have to leave from Santa Cruz a little bit earlier. So 6:30, Las Palmas Park, next Thursday, postpartum. Tell all of your mom friends or come yourself. And then if you want to reach me, you can go to my website is Jenny Putt. So JennyPutt, like golfing, pt.com. I've got lots of different offerings, in-person physical therapy, virtual workshops, trainings, remote coaching for the gym, like just you name it, I do it. And feel free, there's a contact form on there. If you've got questions, you're not sure what's best for you, then just feel free to message me. I can send you links to also find PTs in your pelvic PTs in your area. So thanks for having me tonight. Thanks for listening, and hopefully I'll catch you soon.
Thank you, Jenny. That was wonderful. Thank you so much for your, just honesty, sharing exactly everything that, this subject needs to be about. And just like Helena said, I can feel your passion, and I would go to your class. I wish they had your class when I had my children.
Come and hang out.
But I'm from South America, but I have a German background, and I know that this is part of the health system in Europe, like this type of class. Moms are informed, moms are given this feedback and support for their recovery, like before and the recovery. For me, it's almost like the postpartum part needs to be pushed as much more than ever before. And so this is a way that we're doing it, by having you here talk about this live, honest, here it is. But there's more that we need to do. And I'm so happy and thankful that you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's have a little bit of a drink of, I have water. The sign language that I will never forget, because I did take Bill's class when I was pregnant with my daughter. So I was able to learn the sign languages before she arrived, and then I taught her the ones that I remembered the most, right? Because there's some pregnancy brain right there. But let me have a little bit of a sip. Yes, more. Yes.
How do you say coffee? Sorry.
Coffee. Bill. Coffee.
You take the crank of the coffee grinder and you turn the crank and grind your beans. That's the sign for coffee. It's kind of like the sign for margarita. You go around the rim of the glass. Okay, so we all have our margaritas. I do. This is just a prop, actually. It's not real. Or is it? It might be real.
Is it? I don't know, Bill. I don't know. But just Bill has been with Blossom, I think, longer than I have. And I think we've never really talked about that. But Bill has been with Blossom for so long, supporting the community. So thank you, Bill, so much. Thank you.
Cool, man.
And now it's my honor to introduce you so you can talk about the amazing classes.
All righty. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Bill White. I teach sign language at Blossom Birth and Kaiser Permanente, Sutter Health, Dignity Health Hospitals, and about 40 other locations around the nation, because we're all online now. I teach morning, noon, and night. We teach Saturday mornings at Blossom at 10:15. We're just launching an evening class, and it's just filling up like crazy. Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. That's coming up, and we're going to be sending you links on where you can register for these classes. Wednesday in the afternoon, and also in October, we're going to start a lunchtime for stay-at-home weekday moms, stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home dads that can take a break at work. If you're working from your home, you can just take lunchtime, eat while you're learning sign language. Babies are welcome to come to our classes. They're not required to be in our classes at all. I don't teach babies anything. Most everybody brings their babies. They've got their babies there, but most of the babies are asleep. They're nursing. They're in la la land. I don't teach babies anything. I teach American Sign Language, which is the real American Sign Language, which the deaf community uses. I teach American Sign Language, ASL, to sleep-deprived parents in a fun, interactive way. And I'm a sleep-deprived parent too. I've got 2 boys. So I can feel you, where you're coming from. So what I wanted to do is, this is the most important class to take. Music's important. I'm a dancer and I used to teach dance for years. I teach my sign language classes the same way I teach my dance classes. I'll teach you the dance and then you'll do it. And on my monitor, which is huge, I can give you feedback. So if you're signing hopping or jumping like this, I'll go, hold on there, Deanna. The ground does not move all over the place. The ground is flat, and go up like this. Now the baby doesn't care whether you're going like this or like this or like this or like this. They're just doing what you do. In the human brain, there are neurons. My background's in psychobiology from UCSC. I love to study how the brain works, especially speech acquisition. So in the brain, there's neurons called mirror neurons. And these mirror neurons in humans program babies to mirror mommy and daddy. So if you speak English, they will start to speak English. If you speak Spanish, they will speak Spanish. If you talk like this, they will talk like that. They'll wag their head. They do. They learn language by listening with their ears and their eyes. So if you talk like this, they'll start talking like that. Johnny, let's go outside. I don't want to go outside. Why does he do this all the time? I don't know. Why do you do that all the time? They just do what you do. If you say please and thank you to your partner starting today, your child will be more inclined to be polite. In preschool, he's so polite. How'd you teach him his manners? They don't care about manners in preschool. Manners is kind of an abstract thing to a 3.5-year-old. They just know that everybody on planet Earth says thank you when given something. They do what you do. They speak the language you speak. They just do what you do. So be careful what you do, because they will repeat a bad word that you accidentally said 3 weeks ago at Fresh Choice, where kids eat free on Tuesday nights. Hey, everybody's here. The whole neighborhood's here. Kids eat free. That's great. Look at how big he's getting. This is Liam. He's getting big. He's like 3.5 years old. And Liam's there. I'm not eating my peas. Like, where did he learn that word? And everybody stopped. The whole restaurant went quiet and looked at my child, and then looked at me and my wife. So yeah, be careful what you do, because they will repeat and mirror you perfectly. And the delivery was great. And he didn't learn it from me. I go, where did he learn that word? Uncle Bob was over 2 weeks ago, and Bob doesn't have kids. He does not know how to filter. So I'm going to not just teach you sign language. I'm going to teach you as many parenting tips as I possibly can in the sessions. Now, how does the program work? The program, when we offer all 19 sessions, nobody signs up for it because it's too much of a commitment. So what we did is we got really smart and we broke off the first day. That's the sign for break, okay? Break. It's really easy, like you break a stick. This is not rocket science. The first day we broke off and we call it the introductory workshop. And that's a 90-minute workshop that we teach you the basic signs, about 20 basic signs, which is barely scratching the surface of how many signs a baby can learn. Our babies in our program get up to over 100 words before they're verbal, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 months old, before they can speak verbally. The brain knows how to talk, but when it gets to the mouth, it comes out like da, 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 da. It's babble. That's why they call it babble. You just can't get it. So what we do is we give your baby the ability to communicate. That's the letter C, communicate long before they can speak verbally. And that changes the game big time. You've got a baby trying to get to sleep. Why won't you go to sleep? I know you're not hungry. We tried sweet potatoes. We tried breastfeeding, and the baby's crying, crying, crying. But if it's a baby that's signing with you, let's do this over again. This is your baby 4, 5, 6 months from now after you've taken the class. And now they hear you say it's time for bed, and they know what it means. They understand verbal language at around 7, 8, 9 months old. They just can't speak verbally where you can understand them for about 2 years. And that's like 20 years to this little one. That's a long time away. That's twice their lifetime. If you're 10 months old, that's like a long time. So now this is your baby after you've taken some sign language and you've been integrating sign language into your everyday routines. And you say, it's time for bed. They hear that. And instead of crying, they go like this. That's the sign for apple, apple. Because when you're chewing an apple, your jaw is really working it like that, apple. In Woodside, California, there's a gorilla farm. Coco the gorilla could sign apple and about 1,000 other signs. If a gorilla can do this, even we with our sleep-deprived parent brains can learn American Sign Language. So now this is a baby that hears you say it's time for bed, and they go like this, and they get you to say, oh, you'd like some applesauce, with a big smile. Instead of the stink face from daddy, why won't you go to sleep? They get a happy face from daddy. And the baby signs this back. Because that's communication, by the way. Smiling is big time communication, because this baby is smiling because this baby knows that my daddy not only hears me, but he understands me and values what I have to say. And that changes his self-esteem when he's 37 years old. Because what happens to the person the first 2 years of life has an effect on them. Is it happy, happy, happy moments? Or is it frustrating? Frustrating, nobody can understand what I'm saying. Now, if you don't do sign language, your babies are going to grow up fine. They're all going to talk. They're all going to walk. Everything's going to be, and they'll have wonderful self-esteem. But they would have better self-esteem if the first 2 years of their life, they knew that everybody could understand what they're signing. They're signing more milk, please. Why don't you add the sign for please? They can handle 3 signs. More milk, please. Where's mommy? Over there. I had a nurse from Kaiser driving up El Camino on the way to my Blossom class. She says, Bill, I got to tell you a story. I'm driving down El Camino. Grandma's in the car with us. And grandma's saying, why'd you teach the kids how to sign? They'll never talk. And she's looking at the 15-month-old twin girls. They'll never talk. It will slow their speech, honey. And the nurse was going, actually, grandma, 30 years of evidence-based research shows, and she's driving along El Camino, 30 years of evidence-based research shows that signing with babies accelerates their verbal skills. They're at 24 months old. At UC Davis, we studied this a lot. At 24 months old, they were 3 months ahead verbally than children that did not sign their first 2 years of life. 24 months old, they're speaking like a 27-month-old. 3 months is not a lot of time for you and me, but it's phenomenally advanced in speech acquisition. And grandma says, what are they signing back there? And one was going like this. That's the sign for Starbucks over there, grandma. And her sister signed this back. Spotted the Starbucks, looked at her sister that just signed Starbucks over there and went like this. That's a conversation. Babies are so aware, but we don't know how aware they are unless we give them a voice. Giving a person a voice empowers a person. It empowers them and gives them a sense of control. The sign for control is like this. All right, we're going to sing a song. You guys ready? All right, that's the letter R. It's a pirate's favorite letter. And in the introductory workshop, what it has is we do 90 minutes of the benefits of signing with your baby. There's about 15 benefits of why signing is so important with children, okay? We're also going to go over the techniques on how to teach a baby how to sign, all the little tricks that I've learned over the past 15 years of doing this, and why our program gets the babies that were signing Starbucks over there, they were up to 150 signs before they were verbal. I think they may have said mommy, daddy, kitty, and poop or something like that. Oh, by the way, speaking of the pelvic floor, let's learn a couple signs. Poop, right? Poop. The thumb is up that hole, all right? And you go poop, good deal. Now, Jenny, when you sign poop, your bottom doesn't fly up into the air off the potty. It's the poop that goes down. It's the dominant hand that's moving hand. Little technique here. I'm a stickler for pronunciation. Yeah, your bottom might fly off the potty if you have diarrhea. Now, if you pronounce a sign differently, it means something else. This is a sign for poop. This is a sign for diarrhea. Okay. If you take that little hole, pointed away from you, covered up, this was in your pelvic floor little seminar here. This is the sign for fart. Okay, there we go. And now they can sign daddy farted. And you'll go, that's right. He's kicking up like Long Beach over there. It's amazing. No, seriously, it will blow your mind what your baby has to say. It will blow you away of what your baby has to say. Okay, let's sing a song. This is a sign for walking. We do a lot of music and singing in this class, all right? Walking, walking. Here's the sign for hopping. Put your little person on the ground there and go up in the air and bend your knees, okay? Here's a sign for running. Take the letter L. If you put it on your forehead, it means loser. But if you bang the side of your head with the L, it means lettuce. You have a head of lettuce. If you go tick, 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 with the letter L, it means later. as in I'll see you later. Alligator. This is the real deal. This is not a wimpy little baby sign language class where we just teach milk and more and all done. I can't stand when people say, we did milk with our child. I go, yay, is that the only sign you gave them? Yeah, they used it for everything. They had no idea what they wanted, but they just knew that this got them something, all right? Give your child lots of vocabulary and it will blow you away of what they have to say. So we've got walking, we've got hopping, we've got running. Take the letter L, point it forward and go running and move it forward and just go like this. Here's side view, other side view, move it forward. Okay, running, running, running. And this is the sign for stop. Stop. Okay, this song is to the melody Frere Jacques. You ready? All right, that's the letter R. When you go like this, it means ready. And every time you say ready, do something around your baby. The baby's listening. They're learning language by listening with their ears and they listen with their eyes too. So if you go like this, they'll go like this. That means I'm ready. And you go ready to the melody Frere Jacques. It goes walking, 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 hop, 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 running, 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 running. Now we stop. Now we stop. That's the sign for applause. I integrate a little deaf culture into my class. That's the sign for integration. So I'm going to teach you love and logic, which is how to raise a teenager. And I integrate that into my class. You can't wait till they're 11 years old to start learning how to raise a teenager. You got to start now in the way we communicate. All right. I'm going to integrate positive discipline. We're going to integrate singing, games, parenting tips, all under the guise of a baby sign language class. All right. Thank you so much. That's the sign for thank you. I appreciate your time. And I hope to see you next Saturday. We've got a series starting Saturday, 10:15. Get in and tell your friends. Every friend you bring, I buy you a double margarita and I'll give it to you. And since I can't see you in person, I'll send this in the mail in about a week. This is a discount at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's from me and Blossom Birth, okay? We're giving this to you just for showing up at this webinar. All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Bill. That was wonderful. I also wanted to add to everything you said, because of course, like I said, we took the classes and we are a home of more than a language. We speak 3 languages here. So it was very, very helpful for that, because then Adriana would understand that this would be the same vasa, agua, or water, right? So it definitely helped her to identify that it means the same thing. And she's really good at learning. She was really good at learning the languages. So I'm very, very thankful that we took your class and thankful that you're here today. Thank you so much also for showing us the song and making us laugh. Why not? Good laughter is always good. It's very healthy. Okay. And now we're handing it. Oh, wait. Let's have a little bit of our agua or tea or coffee or margarita, right, Bill?
I think if I remember this correctly, this one's coffee. So it's just like this, right?
Coffee.
Amazing.
Okay.
Bill, I do have a quick question for you. One of the questions I think we get at the front desk often is, so what age is this appropriate for my baby? And I know you said we teach the parent. So do you actually recommend from birth?
Yes. Some people say, I read on the internet that you want to wait till they're 6, 7, 8 months old. At 6, 7, 8 months old, they can do motions that won't be mistaken as a random motion. At 3 weeks old, they're just moving around. What's that mean? I don't know. But if at 6 months, they're doing something like this, it might be the sign for more. Okay. And the way to correct a child when they speak incorrectly is you smile and you praise them. So if they sign more like this, incorrectly, you smile. Stay positive with our children over the next 18 years. We'll talk more about that in the program. So I say start as early as you can, Cindy, for 2 reasons. The younger the baby is, the better you can pay attention in my class. If you've got a 3-week-old or a 3-month-old, I've got your undivided attention. They're here in the sling asleep. They're more of a fashion accessory than a distraction at 9, 10, 11, 12 months old. So now I've got your undivided attention. Reason number 2 is a lot of people say, I've heard how well this Blossom program works and how the babies get up to 60, 70, 80, 100 signs. And I really want to do it. And they forget they're going back to work when the baby's 5, when the baby's 5 months old. maternity, paternity leaves over. So you just don't have the time, energy, or bandwidth to go through 6 classes. The introductory workshop is 90 minutes long, and the series is a 6-day series. Then when the baby starts signing a lot and you're going, oh my God, it's working, you come back and do another 6 days. And then you do another one later on if you want to build your vocabulary. So thanks for asking that. You can even start when you're pregnant. Absolutely. Get a head start on it, because once the baby arrives, your time schedule changes a lot and your energy changes. So
Right.
yeah, thanks for asking that, Cindy.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that we're doing these happy hours because, we've already, both of you have discussed that if you wait until later, then you're tired because your baby's here and your life changes dramatically and you weren't expecting whatever happens. And so then if you don't take care of yourself, I can imagine not looking after your pelvic floor. My doctor did not indicate anything other than exercise your Kegel muscles, and that will help you after you have your baby. That's what I learned. I did not know about Blossom when I had my kids. They're 10 and 12 now, so it's a real honor to serve with this nonprofit because I think we're really educating, and we're teaching, and we're sharing information in order to support each other. So thanks to you both for that and the humor.
Yes.
Can
yes,
I
they
can,
were.
can I say like one little thing, just since you brought up the Kegels? Another, like, one of the big take homes is that, like, don't do Kegels, stop doing Kegels right now. And really quickly, the reason why is that a tight pelvic floor is a weak one. So we can have prolapse, we can have incontinence with a tight pelvic floor, and everyone has a tight pelvic floor. Lots of reasons why, but specifically to pregnancy, posturally, we're put there. And then also with having a kid, the pelvic floor is like, what the heck? There's usually some pain in it. It is contracted. So you can't contract an already contracted muscle. And that's why it is weak. It doesn't have access to a contraction. So stop doing your Kegels for now. We have to relax it before we can do Kegels. So thanks for bringing that.
That's amazing. It's the one thing I heard from more than one person, including my doctor's Kegels.
It's pretty much all we knew, like 10, even 5 years ago. And so if anyone if usually doctors haven't really upgraded their education around the pelvic floor, and pelvic floor PT in America is so new that, yeah, it's just not updated information.
Right.
So thanks for bringing that up.
The information in the course, and I think the more we talk about all these subjects, the better it normalizes things, and then you feel like, oh, it's not just me, I'm not alone. So thanks very much. I guess it's my turn to sort of with our last topic of the day, which
Cindy,
is.
if I could just jump in 1 second. Sure. I just had a follow-up question for Jenny on kind of on the same lines of the age appropriate. I know for the postpartum, you did mention like within, the first year or not, but I was wondering, is there ever a point where it's too late to start for your pelvic floor health, or if you could just.
No, definitely not. I always say, like, it's never too early, it's never too late. These are muscles we're talking about. So in preconception, we can talk about the pelvic floor. We can talk about, pregnancy at any stage of pregnancy. We can talk about postpartum, once postpartum, always postpartum. So no, it takes a little longer the later we are, but never, it's never too late. You'll just kind of need to zone out a little bit when I talk about the initial rest, because that's already passed you up. So yeah, all times. Yeah.
I'm sure that there would be a larger population too within the menopausal community who could benefit from what you have to share with us. So.
Yeah, a lot of the times people who didn't rehab their pelvic floor from kids, they come up to menopause, and because the tissues are kind of estrogen deficient, the tissues become, they have less tensile strength to them. And so any dysfunction comes out further. So a lot of pelvic floor dysfunction, like, they kind of live with it, and then perimenopause or menopause hits, and everything gets worse. And then these are the same people who, when they're 80, 85, they need prolapse surgery because it's literally like falling out of their body. So it's totally preventable as long as we rehab it instead of just letting it see its course. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, thanks for sharing everything. So I just wanted to mention, and I think Dana's going to share screen for me, that we still have our Mentor Moms program on. It is a volunteer-led network. What's a mentor? A mentor in this case is anyone who has had the experience of motherhood and wants to offer support on a one-on-one basis with a Blossom mom who's either pregnant or who just had a baby over the course of a 6-month period. And why 6 months? Well, that's how long, at minimum, that we want our moms to have support. And as a nonprofit and as a small staff, we can't do this ourselves. And to bring back this network means that we can pair, whether it's a former Blossom client or someone that you know, perhaps it's your sister who coached you along when you were pregnant. That person can be a mentor. And the purpose is not to give advice. The purpose is to listen, to be a friend, to be a peer, and to validate the feelings that a new or new again mom may have, especially during these challenging times that we're in / coming out of, right? And so thanks for sharing this. So from the self-care menu at the top, if you clicked mentoring, then you would get here to the Mentor Moms Network for Blossom Moms. It has started. We have paired over 10 moms with mentors. It's working great. The mentors are also trained. So our next training session is actually on October the 13th. We have space for another 7 mentors. And Marty Levinson, who is a licensed therapist, she actually volunteers her time to provide us with that training. I'm a mentor too. I have one Blossom mom that I'm working with, and we touch base probably twice a week. It can be text, phone call, video, or in person. And we have actually met socially distanced in person, which is great, because if someone's new here or you don't have family who lives here, I think it's really nice to be able to provide a connection for someone. So if you scroll a little bit further down the page, you'll see how to register. On the left, to become a mentor mom, and step 1, you would fill out the mentor mom application form, which is a Google form, and ask some questions for you. And then on the right side, it's register as a Blossom mom. So if you're listening and you find that you would love a sounding board who is objective and who will be there for you, you would just fill out the form and we will connect you. And if we scroll right down to the bottom, the one thing I did want to mention, this is a volunteer-led program. I've been really, really, really happy with the number of people who have offered themselves to be mentors. At the same time, as a nonprofit, there is work involved in making the relationships happen. There is staff time involved in having the training sessions, and so donations are also welcome to support this. But we hope that it keeps growing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Cindy. It's a wonderful program, and yes, we hope that it keeps growing, and it definitely will, because there is that need, especially now during this COVID times. I think Bill wanted to mention something. Sorry, I saw your message. Bill, do you want to mention something?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in. I forgot to tell everybody all about the Sunday morning toddler preschool sign language classes. A lot of people that went through all 18 sessions and the baby's signing up a storm, they say we want to continue, but our baby's like walking, they're 24 months old, 25 months old, and they're talking. Is it okay to keep going? And yes, there's a lot of neurophysiological benefits of signing with a 2, a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, because it's movement. The way the brain matures and develops, the left side of the brain, the language side of the brain, and the movement side of the brain, the right lobe, the left lobe, to do it in unison. And kids is wonderful in development. So Sunday morning, we've got Miss Erica's toddler musical sign language story time. It's a move and groove. She dances. She's a dancer with the San Jose Ballet. And it's really fun. These kids tune in and they have a blast. Music's important, but this is like a music class and a sign language class all rolled up into one. Thanks so much. Sorry, I forgot to mention that Sunday morning.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you, Bill, for mentioning it now. And I want to thank all of you again for being here today. I think we did exactly what we wanted to do, which is give the information needed about all the specific classes, the Mentor Mom program. Keep building our community, sharing the knowledge, so that people feel empowered to make decisions. And we want to continue sharing it via Facebook, via social media, any way we can, so that we can keep in touch with our community and keep on building our village. So thank you again. And let's have just one last little sip of tea, coffee, water, or margarita, Bill. I just can't stop laughing about that. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank
and see you next month. It's already
Thank
September.
you.
See you in October.
I'll see you
Bye.
Saturday the 11th. It's a sign language class. Check it out. Try one series. See if it's a good fit for you.
Okay, let's do that.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
And all the links you will see in the chat below if you have any questions. Bye-bye.
Bye.